Hello, just before we start this video properly, I wanted to explain what this is. This is me attempting to fly the helicopter in kind of a raw situation, rather than go away and say, and then I learned to fly and here's me flying it better. Fingers crossed that'll ever happen. I wanted to take you through some raw footage with me. There's a bit of editing, mostly me editing out my swearing because I crashed it a lot, but it's pretty much raw stuff, so that's what to expect. I just wanted to set the scene there. Anyway, on with the video. Hello friends, we're back with the XK K110S and we're going to try and fly it out of gyro mode. That means it's in 3D mode but not doing any 3D. It's a little bit windy, I'm a little bit concerned, but I have got this much bigger space with nice soft landing. So I'm going to give it a try, see how it feels. If everything goes amazing, I might just put it in idle up just to see how that feels as well. But essentially I'm just going to be trying to do circuits. Obviously I've got no auto stabilization and stuff, so I'll be trying to manage that myself and make sure my orientation stays good and I'm able to get this thing round safely and, you know, take off and land and stuff. Let's try it. As always, the trickiest thing with this is remembering if you've got a problem, throttle cut. Throttle cut's your friend. So let's go into 3D mode and see how this feels. Okay, let's just try and get a hover going first. Definitely feels different. Obviously it's not going to try and correct. If I just move my stick, it's just going to fly away. So just been flying quads, so got to get used to the idea of not just dropping the throttle. It feels okay so far. The wind is handling. Let's just try doing a quick whoops. I don't really want it flying right past me, so I have to be careful when I'm coming in towards myself. So I'm going to walk it a little bit further out into the field here. Let's make sure I'm happy with this. Whoop. Caught by the wind there, so let's get a little bit of height. Height is your friend. For some reason I'm scared. I don't know why. Yeah, that was a situation where the wind got a bit better of me. I just tried going, let's try going nose in, I suggested, which maybe not the best idea straight off. So I'm just gonna, whoa. This is back into auto stabilize. I just want to make sure, you know, oh dear, what just happened there? That was weird. Let's try rebooting. Make sure it's all okay. What I just want to check, I'm back in auto stabilize. I just want to make sure my muscle memory's there to sort of do the circuits and things. Oh, I'll tell you what it's not very good at, and that's recognizing that wind. So coming towards myself, I'm not doing a very good job there. Doing this needs to reboot thing. So there's several things to point out about what we've done so far. First off, the wind was blowing towards me and this made me incredibly nervous to turn the helicopter towards me and come around. Even in auto stabilize mode it managed to go past me and crashed. Secondly, what I was doing is, you saw the thing where it suddenly would drop to the ground and sort of spin out because the main rotor went down. I was sort of seeing this as kind of this weird quirk after a crash, something funny happens. I wasn't really taking it too seriously, but I took an awful long time rebooting this and it was, I think, an issue with something being wrong with this, which I'll come to a bit later. Okay, let's try it again. Let's not be a wuss about it. Why does the wind have to get up every time I take it out of gyro mode? It's definitely much harder. You just don't think about how much work the gyro's doing in correcting stuff for you. But you know, we're busy getting it back tail in. We'll try another pass. The wind's really blowing in the wrong direction for this. Fortunately, I can see, he says, I can see enough to bring it round, but when it goes a little bit too far away, then that was just a clear case of orientation being lost, unfortunately. What happened after the last crash is I had to wait about 10 minutes for the sort of thing to want to work properly again. It's like that whole gyro weirdness thing. It's not initializing nicely, but hopefully it will this time. Yep. This is alright. Nothing's breaking is the main thing, and I've not killed anybody. Again, a case of getting used to it, making sure I'm always under control, maybe slowing things down just a touch. And remembering that these things do take a little while to slow down again. You've really got to put some lean into them. Okay, so just trying to make sure I can actually see where the angle. No, orientation is better than the quad. Orientation is not magical. I thought I was in a completely different direction that time. I'm so glad to see this thing holds up to a crash though. Pros and cons to it being little. Doesn't smash up as bad, but it's slightly harder to see, so I have to think about keeping it closer, but I don't want it too close because I'm bound to hit myself with it. So let's try. Whoa. I think it's fair to say we won't be doing any idle up today. At the same point, this thing's doing okay. You know, nothing's breaking. Am I learning anything? Hard to say. Hard to say. I mean, got no problem keeping just a hover and stuff. It's when we get moving and start moving quickly that it's very easy. It's not that I lose orientation of where the copter is. It's like how much roll has it got in it as I'm coming around. That's a little bit harder to pick up. So let's just try doing much the same thing. You see, it's so easy. I almost did it there. I rolled, and then I didn't change my roll back as I turned the corner, which is where it's difficult to see. And because I'm quite low down, I want to see what I'm doing. Completely lost the direction of that one again. I thought it was coming around, but no. Okay, I saw that happening that time. So my roll got out of control and it started dropping. this wind's just got up a lot. We've got headwind. Okay, correct. Better. More under control is good. Okay, I'm going to go much lighter with my roll stick, I think. Maybe we're going a little bit over the top there. More yaw, less roll. Whoop, he says rolling. Okay, getting better. Oh. Oh. I think that was the case, so my battery is literally gone. It started getting like, oh, hang on, we're not getting a response, and then it just went. Okay, new battery. Yeah, that last one, it gave me a clue, but you only had about 15 seconds as soon as you felt the throttle get a bit spongy to do something with it, and I was like, oh, is there something happening? And then it just like, no, I'm crashing now, I've gone down. So that was interesting. That was battery number 1. Battery number 2. Battery number 2 to get better than battery number 1. I think we're starting to get there. Just getting the idea of the sticks and how to do the turns a little bit cleaner, and sort of a little bit better at rescuing things and slowing things down. I think is the crucial aspect here. Don't try and go too crazy. But that is a little far away, so I'm gonna bring it back tail in. If in doubt, tail in is your friend. And let's try that again, but oops. Seems like the wind's just dropped. I might actually be able to do a proper circuit at this point. Just making sure that speed is that. No, I went over the top on the speed. This thing will really shift if you let it. So obviously I don't want to. I want to try and keep good control, which, yeah, I'm not really doing right now. So let's try that one again. So let's nice and slow. Now I completely lost orientation there. It's easier, but when it's silhouette and far away and it's very small, it can get lost, but we got there. Okay, try again. This is the only problem. Bigger field equals, and it's sort of less light as well. I'm managing to lose my orientation a lot quicker when it's going how far it's turning. So let's do the turn early. Great-ish. Ooh, that was a big hit. That was kind of like we dunked it on purpose there, because it's... I thought I had the orientation right, but something wasn't quite there. I mean, it made a funk, and we got a little bit of dirt embedded on certain bits, but the actual copter looks fine. Let's see if it will actually spin up. That's always the question in these crashes. Will it spin up? It is certainly, right now, taking the crash without any particular visible injuries, which is good. Are you sure it wants to start up? Yep. Oh. So I did this once before, and I don't quite know what to do about it. It's just in auto level, making sure it's okay. It's alright, so we're going to take it out of that into 3. Nope. Not happy there, is it? It seems to be acting normally again. Not quite sure what happened in the last one. I think, again, far away. I was trying to get the orientation. I just couldn't. It seemed to go further and further away, so it's like half. I don't know what I'm doing. Half. Let's just drop it. Oh, is that broken? I think I've just seen something that might be broken. Oh, well, it's going to be definitely broken if I keep doing that. Ah, yeah, that's it. Oh, it's just a pop-out thing. That was me trying to just look at something whilst not concentrating on what I was doing. I've just noticed that this was out, but it's literally like just a pop-out thing. So just pop those back in. And apart from the fact I just literally dumped it on itself, got a little bit of a nick in there. Let's see if that's okay. Yeah, it says not a problem. This is a tough little helicopter. I expected it to be in many pieces by now, and yet here it is, still alive somehow. Anyway, what was I doing? I was trying to go nice and slow. Try not to hit myself, try not to crash. Kind of failed in both situations there. Well, I didn't crash or hit myself, but I wasn't particularly happy with the way that felt. Okay, come on now, let's go. We got this. Bloody GoPro's blocking my head at this point. Right, we're going to have to just quickly sort that out. Just put it down quick. GoPro's falling down my face and blocking my view of the helicopter, which isn't great. Right, try again. The wind is back, of course it is. Yeah, we got it. Ooh! Wow, I really got everything wrong then. You couldn't get much wronger than that. And this little thing's just like, oh, whatever. It'll be good. So if I just turn it to face me a little bit more, then I get a better impression of where it is. And even though, you know, obviously nose in is whoop, 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 whoop. I was about to say that even though nose in is more difficult than other bits, it's not too bad as I crashed it into the ground yet again. Okay, this is more going to be a video about, hey, this thing holds up, rather than, look, I can fly now, because clearly the flying aspect of it. So, let's try resetting again. Oh, this is battery. I've got the odd situation at the moment is that I'm having trouble getting this going again. I thought I'd take this off to put the lights on. I had the cover off once before, and it started up, and I put the cover on and it didn't. And I'm wondering if the cover is just rubbing on that motor there and causing it to stall. I'm trying to put it on. It only goes on one way. That's the thing. Let's give it another try. So make sure I'm doing it right. So let's try it now. And look at that, it just stalls straight away. Well, clearly a bit of a weird situation here where it doesn't want to arm properly or spin the props when I've got the cover on, and I don't know why. And I don't want to fly without the cover. What I want to do is try and find out why that's happening. So I'm going to suspend flying because I'd have to fly without the cover. I don't want to do that. And we'll go back and we'll see if we can figure out what's going on. Now, it could have been that I've, you know, dropped it on the floor a couple of times, too many, and it wasn't happy. But it was doing something similar before, which I thought was a gyro issue. I've done the reset gyro thing. It doesn't seem to make a difference. So let's find out what's going on. So when I got it home, I still couldn't get it to spin with the cover off. But I found this interesting situation where as I increased the throttle at a certain point, it was like it kept cutting out. And I thought, this looks more like an ESC problem. And this rang a bell because occasionally when I plugged it in, the beeps didn't go off. And I really didn't think enough about it at the time. And this is what I found. This little thing with the 3 prongs coming out of it is actually the motor wires. And that servo lead is what connects the motor wires to the ESC, which is a bit of a weird thing I've never seen before. But you will notice the signal pin is very short. And I'm thinking what's happening here is we've got a very bad connection here because that pin's too short. So when we're getting either a vibration or the slight tightness of the body around the shell, that is getting sort of squeezed, and then the signal wires dropping out, and with no signal it just fail safes and dies. So what I've done, I've got a pair of pliers and stretched that out a little bit. It doesn't come all the way, but since this time I've put several batteries in the garden with the cover on, and I kind of think it's okay now. So a day of a lot of crashing and not particularly great flying, but some lessons were learnt. Firstly, what I found is, because this is so alien to me, after flying a quad and planes and like cars, but everything but this, I found that I wasn't taking notice of the normal stuff I would, because I thought, oh, it's part of a helicopter. So when I was plugging in and I wasn't getting the normal ESC beeps, I was thinking, oh, it must be that weird flight controller, maybe it's the gyro on it, maybe it's something, rather than just like the physical connection between the that little servo lead and the pins is not there, and that was what was making it not fire up. And obviously when I was crashing in previous video and it suddenly not coming on, that's probably, again, it was just getting slightly knocked, and me fiddling around with it would knock it back again. So I'm glad we got that bit. As for the flying, man, I mean, I'm glad this thing can take a hit, because I crashed it and then I crashed it and I crashed some more, and some of those hits were pretty big. And the only damage I've got a couple of very small nicks out of the main two props. You just got to see a little thing there. I'm not going to change them yet because it flies fine, and I just end up doing it again. As for flying, obviously that was pretty bad. It was starting to get better. That's the annoyance. What was happening? I was flying out and I was going onto the turn, and I was doing a coordinated turn, so we were getting a nice thing that way. But when it was at this angle, sort of there, so it was going to pass me, but you know, further away. What I couldn't tell is how far it was rolled over or back, and that was often my problem, that I'd end up then overdoing the roll in the next part of the turn, or just losing orientation because it's gone too fast. But that's where I found that if I was out and then I come around in a figure eight and I try and get this kind of nose in, then I'd be able to tell easier what the angle was, and I was starting to get that when I had to stop flying. The other thing I learned is, of course, fairly obviously, try and go slow. This thing didn't fly so fast when it was in gyro mode, but now it's out of that and it can angle all the way. It can really shift, and aside from the fact, you know, it was getting out of control quicker, it was also getting further away, and as it gets further away, orientation becomes more difficult. It can always tell which is front and which is back, but how much it's rolling, how much it's over, and that there was one case where it was sort of like this, and I honestly couldn't tell if it was that way or that way because the silhouette looked the same. So some stuff to do for next time. We're not near idle up, but I'm happy that I found what the problem was. If that persists, because the pin won't come all the way out, I will just solder that motor on and have it done that way. But yeah, I'll keep going, and I'll be back with you doing some more flights with this, hopefully with a little bit more success. Oh yeah, the last thing I found is I was very intimidated by the fact that because the wind was blowing towards me, whenever, you know, I would try and stop or just bring the copter at me, it would come at me really quick. And this is a quad you can break almost instantly. A helicopter needs some more time. So what I will do for next time is make sure that the wind is behind me. If I have to walk out a different part of the field, that's one thing. But yeah, I want the default position to be where I'm not sort of scared about the copter coming and hitting at me. So I think that's quite a useful thing. Anyway, useful lessons. I'm relieved that it's still in one piece despite all those hard crashes. So yeah, join me next time and we'll do some more flying, and we'll see if I can actually get any better at this. I should point out this was kindly supplied once again by Banggood, and there are links down below if you want to get your own one. Catch you later. Bye for now. Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.